Hi, good evening. I'm Abhilash, your UPSC Civil Services Examination mentor. Welcome to today's Thursday special. And as we know, that every week on Thursday 7 p.m., I come live to interact with you with all your doubts regarding your UPSC Civil Service Examination attempt. You may be fresher, you may be right now in the college, school, maybe trying to know how it is, what is the exam all about, who should give the exam, how do I prepare, वे कहाँ से शुरुआत करें, how do I start, English medium, Hindi medium, so many doubts about the exam which can come up, and you have challenge to figure it out from maybe using the internet or maybe finding the right person. So here I am. You can simply put your doubt in the session, and I reply back to each of the doubts on email and however they are submitted. Apart from that, also speak about it over over here in the uh, session for all of us, because most of the time uh, these doubts might be coming from one particular individual, but it represents various other people who are at the same spot, the same thought cycle में है, but are unable to frame it up, just speak up as a doubt. So this is why uh, I find that uh, here the doubt session takes an important part. Again, because every week is not the same, we are talking about various ways in which all of us who are preparing for this exam also get some value regarding uh, what needs to be done differently and things like that. In today's session, you know, we are discussing a very simple question, but it is probably the most important question in UPSC preparation. How do I read every day in a way that actually moves me closer to the exam? How do I keep my preparation towards exam center? Many of you are studying, many of you are reading the newspaper, various PDF, various books. Many of you have bought different kind of books, different authors, publications, downloaded multiple PDFs, joined Telegram channels, saved YouTube playlists, and created multiple plans using AI tools, so many things. Yet, at the end of the day, one doubt still remains. जो मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ या मैं पढ़ रही हूँ, क्या ये यूपीएससी के काम आने वाला है? This doubt continuously stays in your mind like a loop, and that is where now that is where I feel today's session will benefit you more in understanding why the takeaway of the session is how do I मेरा जो यूटिलिटी है या मेरा जो स्टडी टाइम जो मैंने इन्वेस्ट किया है उसको मैं कैसे ये करूँ. स्टडी टाइम को मैं कैसे मतलब यूटिलाइज करूँ फॉर बेस्ट ऑफ. So today's session is titled as UPSC Self-Study Reverse Engineering Previous Year's Papers to Build Daily Reading Habit. Before I move on, these are questions which I have received, and I just want to assure you that I you will get your answers individually as well. But the today's session will also take you to a more of a broader solution. Most of the question is how should I start my UPSC preparation? Kindly guide how to prepare for UPSC. How many hours should I study and what should I study? How should a beginner who is also a working professional prepare for UPSC? Saram, I am a beginner. Will you provide proper guidance or advice? How should I start my preparation as a beginner? So here, most of you have only one query or bigger query is as a beginner, how do I start my preparation? So first and foremost thing is having understanding of what are the information about the exam, about the details of what is needed to prepare for this exam. Am I eligible? What is the kind of syllabus does the exam has? What is the kind of resources and preparation areas which is required? Do I have an access to it? And as per the exam situation, where do I stand? Do you have any idea? No idea, and all that aspect. How much time? Because it is a exam, it needs you to study, and it is not an academic exam. That is, you and your friends are not studying together for that particular year for that exam. It is your choice to appear for this government exam. You might be also appearing for multiple other exams during the same time. How do you manage your study time and things like that? So here the challenge comes is every individual will have their own timing schedules, priorities, and studying habit. So curating, if you had there been a single way of doing it, then it would have been the most easiest way to say that you do this, next step this. If you do this, then only you'll get it, otherwise you'll not get it. But this is not ऐसा होता नहीं है. This is not the reality. Reality है कि because ये एक एग्जाम फॉर द जॉब है, आपका स्मार्ट स्टडी, आपका स्टडी उतना विच इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर एग्जाम, क्या पढ़ना है क्या नहीं पढ़ना है, व्हाट यू वांट टू स्टडी, व्हाट यू डोंट वांट टू स्टडी, और व्हाट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू स्टडी. Understand what is relevant for the UPSC, how UPSC is looking at the exam syllabus. All this thing is very important. And in सबको अगर हम if we want to cracks out how does this happen, we can just simply say that previous year question paper is the mirror to it. And I today want to focus you or make your skill in, when we end this session today, I want you is that you are able to crack out, check the syllabus line, understand from previous year question paper, what are the topics, what are the micro topics. You can connect it that which syllabus or which area it is coming, and then utilize your, the internet tools to find the right resource, and that way break down that if I have to appear this or prepare for this particular question, from where, first of all, which syllabus it is coming from, which subject, second, from where the reading material or the content to deliver an answer will come from, third, how I'm going to write it to meet the demand of that particular syllabus question. Only question. So these are something we are going to talk in today's session. Uh, all of you who are watching on YouTube Live, my only request is you can use the YouTube comment and live chat, but at every 15 minutes, I'm going to check them. And if wherever the interaction is possible, I'll do. People who are in the live Zoom, they can put their question in the chat box at every 10 to 15 minutes to stop the monitoring. I will talk and discuss about the questions. So let's move on and hope we are very clear what are we are doing right now. आज क्या हमारा objective है. And let me tell you, all these slides are, I'll be sharing these slides with all the handouts and whatever is what I speak about it. There will be practical actionables, item, headache. You will get it all in after the session. And I'm sure you must have also received the link to download it. The link is after every session, it takes me an hour or two to upload it in the system. And you can then click and take it. So, what we are going to talk today is not a shortcut, but a methodology. And a methodology is something which we are going to use not just in this particular exam, but any government exam or any exam regarding job where your entire study pattern you can align with your availability and priority and which exam coming like that. So you wake up in the morning, for example, how does your day start off today, these days? You wake up in the morning, you open a newspaper, you find a newspaper, and you read it, read some articles, whatever attracts you or whatever you see something about, at different pages. You read like state, sports, whatever. You underline a few important lines and then kind of make a note of it, saying that these were some important things which happened. And by the end of the night or in the evening, when you're reading something else, you do not remember that what was the news article today, what are the top 10 news headlines of the day, and what was it all about. So imagine after 1 month, you keep on writing notes like this, and your notebook has a lot of notes about each day. 30th July, this point, 1st August, this point, like that. Now looking at the volume of it, कितना आपने लिख लिया है, तो देखते ही आपको लग रहा होगा भाई कौन पढ़ेगा ये सब, क्या है पता नहीं, एक एक दिन का कैसे याद रहेगा. बट मेंटली यू फील लाइक अरे आई हैव ऑलरेडी प्रिपेयर्ड, आई हैव रिटन, मुझे याद कैसे नहीं है. तो क्वेश्चन हियर इज लाइक याद क्यों रहे. ये मैं कर रहा हूँ आईएएस एग्जाम के लिए, मैं प्रिपरेशन के लिए कर रहा हूँ, पर ये याद रहना क्यों चाहिए. व्हाट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ वट एवर यू आर रिटन, उसका क्या लॉजिक है, उसका क्या रीजन है, क्या तुक बैठता, वाई शुड इट बी इन योर मेमोरी. That we never figure out. It is just many people have told in UPSC topper case and everything that you should read newspaper and correct articles and write notes from newspaper. So you are just doing it because toppers do it. But when you ask yourself this question, क्यों मुझे वो याद नहीं रह रहा कि why it should be in your mind. It is because you have never been told that why this information matters. Now, for example, you read an article about governor withholding assent to a state bill. That governor, you see any news article where it says that governor did not give his assent to the bill. Now, looking at the way the newspaper quotes such incidents, they say there's some political controversy around it, opposition says something, and there's a perspective added to that particular incident. But if you are an UPSC aspirant and when you read or see anything about governor withholding the bill, the first and foremost thing is, well, which is this power coming from? What does it belong to? Which syllabus? Okay, polity. It belongs to polity. Second, it belongs to federalism. Okay. Then what is federalism? It is office of governor. Union and state, office of governor. Then you say, what are the constitutional powers of governor? These articles where the constitutional powers of governors are there. You realize, okay, as per this particular clause of constitution, the governor has the right or the power to withhold the assent to the bill of the state legislative assembly. Now, when you see this, you realize this particular power has been very, very critical in creating the federalism of this country. How it is union ruled, how it is state ruled, you will realize, because once you read about this power, they tell you which area, which governor, where or what happened, how many times that has been utilized, whether in the financial bill, whether it's the, whether it's a money bill or how it is utilized usually. So that gives you an insight that in keeping the federalism, how this power has been utilized or misutilized. However. So that is what is aspirants' way of looking at question paper or reading the newspaper or reading the article. Now, this does not come, it's not a very enjoyable process. It's very, very kind of, figuring out information from everything, that kind of a process. But this is an outlook. Today you start practicing it. You are fresher, you are just a beginner. And slowly, slowly, when you, 6 months down the lane, you realize what are the information of your relevance, what is what you should not even read. Any news which is like, which instigates your fear or fight hormone. For example, somebody killing somebody, some murder, something, some chori or something, theft or anything like that, or some scam or something like that. All these things are not relevant for this. But you will see the news and the newspaper highlighting it like the biggest thing in the country. But as an aspirant, we are very clear that these are not going to contribute in any quality of your preparation. I hope I was able to tell you and make you understand what we are reading, what your time you are investing in study, and what is to be studied, so that your time you invest is relevant. And I want to also know that any of you, whatever I spoke right now, did you feel anything like that? If you have actually started reading newspaper, and where does your eyes goes when you read newspaper? Second is, when you read randomly, ये जब भी आप ऐसे कुछ पढ़ना शुरू कर देते हैं और उसका कोई ऑब्जेक्टिव ही नहीं है, व्हाई यू आर स्टडिंग, यू डोंट नो, यू कैन नॉट डिसाइड वेदर इट इज टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू रीड फॉर 1 आवर 2 आवर, जब तक आपका मन रहा आपने पढ़ा 10 मिनट 2 सेकेंड्स, यू स्टार्ट ड्रीमिंग, you forget the objective. Why did I take up reading, or what was I actually trying to achieve? So one of the first and foremost thing is when we use this, as today's session, I'm talking about PYQs, revising using previous year question. We know that what we are looking at. हमें क्या पढ़ रहा है और क्यों पढ़ना है, हम किसके लिए पढ़ रहे हैं. Once that objective is met, your study time is over for that particular time. ऐसा नहीं कि दिन भर पढ़ते ही रह रहे हैं. It creates some impression. Mostly these toppers and all, they create an impression as if he 24 hour into breathing and out anything, they're only studying. And somehow people try to ape it. और वे 3 दिन के अंदर, within 3 days, you get tired of doing that. Because it is not fairly possible for anyone for 24 into 7 just trying to look at the book and read something, believing that whatever I'm reading is going to come in the examination and some important है, सब याद रखो. These kind of anybody, if you have this kind of approach, or if you have this kind of mindset, that is the first and foremost difficulty that you are facing in this preparation. कोई और बाहर वाले से threat नहीं आया है. The threat is coming from your own perception of what to read. I don't know whether you have attended my previous session, and but you are habitually a mentor कि मैं यही कहता रहता हूँ, but then you realize that ये तो मेरा पहला सेशन है. Nobody knows me only then now. मैं किसको कहता रहता हूँ. For the last 10, 11 years that I am into in this mentoring and guidance of UPSC aspirant, where repeatedly I always say that, this is not an academic exam. This is examination for becoming a bureaucrat. There is a purpose of this examination. There is a purpose given to the knowledge acquired in this examination. There is a purpose and a skill required. That is why this exam has such a big, huge duration. That is why this exam is still in the pen and paper based mode rather than on, just finding out a GK of your personality. कितना आपको आता है. It is not about that. So, and if we read thinking like an academic perspective, you are not going to clear the exam. You will be stuck at the interview stage because that kind of aptitude is not required in the job. But if you go and look at what the bureaucracy does, what kind of job it does, why it needs a brain which is able to sympathize, empathize, and understand various contexts when it tries to deliver or upkeep the constitution for the public, you will realize why am I being told to read these subjects? So here you have to understand that when I'm writing this exam, मुझे exam clear करना है to be in the service. There is a person called examiner who's going to check my question paper. So you have to think from that perspective, what do they need? मैं अगर उतना भर दे दूं, भर के दे दूं, if I write that much, definitely I'm going to crack. But if I go by the academic way, where multiple thinkers, multiple uh, academicians have their own perspective of understanding the subject, and you are trying to showcase, देखो मैंने इतना पढ़ा है, मुझे इतना सब पता है. So then, buddy, then you are actually putting a loop for yourself. उसका आंसर कोई और दे नहीं सकता. मे बी बाहर यू ट्राई टू शो दैट नो आई डोंट, मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ जो आप बोल रहे हो, बट इन रियलिटी यू ट्राइंग टू डू ऑल द रियल उल्टा थिंग्स. इट इज अ लुक फॉर यू. So the biggest transformation in UPSC preparation is not from weak student to strong student. It is from a reader to examiner. The old method usually looks like this, like syllabus pado, then books, then notes, then test. This sounds very logical and actually in practice, especially when it comes to academic learning. And what happens is you keep on writing notes, making notes, doing so many things. And then one fine day you sit for writing test and then realize, मुझे कुछ याद नहीं आ रहा, blank blank सा हो गया है. I only remember 50% of the question. Oh my God, what is this English they are writing? Like these are certain things which comes in the mind, but you don't openly say. But what I prefer, where the kind of time we have when you're doing self-study, all this what I'm talking here is about self-study, is you look at the previous year questions, or this is called the reverse engineering. Look at the what UPSC has been asking, identify the syllabus pattern behind those questions, break the pattern into micro topics, read the relevant chapters and resources. End of the day, an MCQ, an answer outline, and or a revision note has to be your output. For example, let's say all of us know that one of the most common standard book of polity reference is Lakshmi Kant. Okay. Now, this book is not promoted by UPSC, let me tell you. Even I am not endorsing this book, but it's become very standard because this book starts as a compilation of through questions and compilations of concept clearing MCQs, and it started its first edition. And by the time its 11th and 12th edition, this book had a prominence that rather than me going and पहले तो internet था नहीं ना, पहले तो somebody has to collect something ना, everybody had to collect different question papers from different state services, what kind of questions they are making. So some had to do physical effort. So Lakshmikant ji had done that physical effort to bring in all the questions from various state service examination and previous year examination and bind it and club it as one chapter and question. Like that. So that's the reason this became a standard book. But if you ask me fairly, whether this book is a reference book, no. Because, it is kind of parallel to textbook. A reference book would be a Subhash Kashyap, where he is talking about debate about various things in the parliament. Now, uh, analogically, our political for federal system is very very similar in the pattern of, because in our constitution we have taken flavors from across the globe, so but we kind of follow the British way of looking at things. So you realize that the tone in which it is written, the perspective in which or the figurative speech is mostly British in and that is where Subhash Kashyap and things like writers thought comes as a picture that they still align themselves in that way of thinking at things. Whereas Lakshmikant's typical textbook type thing, ये है चीज, ये है इसमें ऐसा है, इसमें ऐसा है ना, it decodes every meaning and gives a practice questions to practice so that your concept is very very clear. So that is where you see that when you see the previous year question and look from the resource, you will realize what is the demand of the question which is being asked, और मुझे किस focus syllabus पे focus करना है. The previous year paper becomes like the first and foremost guidance what it is, rather than once you complete the syllabus and then you look at practicing through PPY. Now, this is not a big thing. Yeah, I mean, this is a logical stuff. I would not spend much time over here. Why reverse engineering should work? First of all, whatever you will see in 10 years zone on 10 years time, you are able to understand a pattern that what areas of questions UPSC follows mostly. So that gives you areas which is high frequency asked or with areas of low frequency. Then you that way it makes sense that high frequency area you prepare stronger. Whereas you can ignore certain area. Why? Because you haven't asked in for very enough. And then it is like uh, when you actually look at, you know, all of you have this habit that you download or you look at buy notes from various places. Now, those notes is very flat. Very flat means they do not answer right away. Uh, like they do not answer. Uh, they do not answer in a more specific way, but generic. The moment you read uh, the moment you read the PYQ, you will realize that a question पूछा किस लिए था, ये question का framework ऐसा क्यों था, why these words are used. So that way it makes the reading more important. So now, why I don't know why I put this slide that why because हम एक time invest कर रहे हैं that by the end of this particular session today, which might overflow a bit, what is that you are going to do? First, people who are starting from scratch, क्या करना है? Second questions is like how many hours to study, वो कैसे start होता है, how do you figure it out? Then what are the way to break the GS syllabus system into micro topics, and how to map the syllabus lines to PYQs and build a daily reading habit, and what are the standard books and various which books to read for microscope. And then there's a way in which you can filter out current affairs, whether it is relevant for your preparation, and this thing as per a five-question framework before reading any of the topic, whether this suits the or aligns with the UPSC needs. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, all of you who are watching live in YouTube, they can also put their questions on the comments at the YouTube. I'll just cross-check it. And also who are in the Zoom, if you want to ask any questions, apart from what has been already, what I've already received, I shared what I've received already. I have received these questions, and mostly it is all about how to start from scratch or begin. So that I'm going to talk. But apart from that, if you have any questions coming, जब मैं हम बातें कर रहे हैं, when we are talking about this today, if you have anything in your mind, do write. I'll take a 2 minutes break and then join. तो लेट अस सी क्या है जनरल स्टडीज, क्या जनरल स्टडीज जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, जीएस फाउंडेशन, यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विस एग्जामिनेशन, व्हाट डज इट ऑल कवर? ओके, you might be already knowing it, but let me just give it a little more authentication as what I has a, how do I look at it, and है क्या ये चीज जिसके ऊपर लोग बड़े बड़े, हाँ, उम्र अपना जा चुका है। तो GS1 जो है, इट इंक्लूड्स हिस्ट्री, कल्चर, सोसाइटी एंड ज्योग्राफी, एंड यू कैन सी दिस इन द नोटिफिकेशन ऑल्सो, सिलेबस। GS2 जनरल स्टडीज टू, उसमें है पॉलिटी, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, गवर्नेंस, स्टडी सोशल जस्टिस एंड इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन। And GS3 includes economy, agriculture, science and tech, environment, security and disaster. And GS4 जो है वो इंक्लूड करता है ethics, integrity, aptitude and case studies based on it. But ये जो है, these are not operating in isolation. Okay. Why? Because when we consider geography, it does not is not limited to only geographical features. It has an economic impact. It has an impact on the sociology part of it, cultural part of it. So एक सब्जेक्ट में इसका इम्पैक्ट अलग अलग होता है, बट बिकॉज यू हैव टू पुट इट इन अ सिलेबस, दे हैव स्टिल कैटेगराइज्ड इट सब्जेक्ट वाइज हियर इन दी यूपीएससी। तो इफ यू आर ए बिगिनर, आप पहले ही दिन से मास्टर करने के लिए मत जाओ। आपको पहले सिलेबस को अच्छी तरीके से घोंट के पीना है। So whenever you see any subject questions or topics, you should be able to relate कि ये कौन से सब्जेक्ट मैटर से निकल के आया है और इसका इम्पैक्ट और रिलेशन इज इन विच सब्जेक्ट्स। दैट गिव्स मच मोर क्लैरिटी व्हेन यू सी इट इन द क्वेश्चन पेपर, कि वो किस तरफ, किस जगह का पूछ रहे हैं, किस एस्पेक्ट का पूछ रहे हैं। तो दैट मीन अगर आप एग्जाम का पैटर्न देखोगे, एग्जाम हैज प्रीलिम्स, फर्स्ट स्टेज इज प्रीलिम्स। Prelims has two paper, GS paper 1, which includes all the subjects which I mentioned here in GS, and then GS paper 2, which is Civil Services Aptitude Test, which has mathematics and other logic and other exam as an aptitude test in paper 2. Once you clear that exam, you are eligible to write the mains. Mains has subjective kind of test, and it has papers of GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3, GS paper 4. It has a full essay paper, and it also has various compulsory papers like English, one language, and regional or official language out of the 20 languages which we have, including Hindi. Then we have essay paper. So these are something, and the most integral part of every paper is the current affair content or element in it. I hope you are now clear about it. अब बड़ा मजेदार ये है कि यूपीएससी जो है ना, बड़ा ब्रॉडली लिखता है सिलेबस। इट राइट्स अ सिलेबस इन अ वेरी broad manner. For example, Indian Constitution. It writes historical underpinnings, evolution feature, amendments, significant provisions, basic structure document. अगर इसी चीज में हम चार चीज पढ़े तो हमें लगता है चार टॉपिक तो है, कर लेंगे, बट ऐसा नहीं है। When you actually break down what all are the other part of sub syllabuses which comes in that particular thing, you'll realize it's very big. अब यहाँ पे अगर हम देखें, सामने मैंने पढ़ा क्रैक फॉर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एंड दिस थिंग। सो इट इज लाइक मेकिंग ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन असेंबली डिबेट्स, preamble and its significance, basic structure doctrine, constitutional amendments, the key ones, federal features and exceptions and separation of powers, fundamental rights, Article 12 to Article 35, DP, Directive Principle of State Policy, Judicial Review and its limit. Like that, you see that a one syllabus is broken down into multiple micro syllabus. So your knowledge about one particular whole syllabus is not the only thing, but knowing about क्या इसके अंदर आता है, माइक्रो सिलेबस जानना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. So this also gives which area is much favored or pattern wise, how which exam point comes much frequently in prelims or mains. Once you have micro topics, create a micro heat map. A heat map is not a prediction that low frequency topics and never be asked. It is a tool for allocating time and revision cycle. If you have any question, do add in. I need 1 2 minutes break, water break. Hello. I was just thinking that मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि क्वेरी तो बहुत पूछते हैं कि पढ़ना है ये करना है, बट सामने तो कोई आते हुए ही नोबडी कम्स ओनली. तब ऐसे कैसे प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं शांत चुपचाप से, या आई डोंट नो, आई एम unable to meet the expectation. पता नहीं whether my voice clarity is there or I need a lot of feedback, I guess. What should I do? So before I move forward, Shireen, would you like to say something? Is it your first session? Would you mind if you can unmute yourself and just speak to me?
Yes.
Is it your first session?
Yes.
Okay, and you are like, when do you plan to give the exam? What is your current status as a student?
PG student.
PG.
Yes. MA
And
Mass Communication.
have you given the attempt before?
No, no. Starting, beginning.
Okay, and
Beginning.
which was your first attempt? Which year? 2027 or 2028? Okay, fine. You are a beginner, so anyway, today and your first session, but still I would ask you for my feedback. Let's continue with our session. There's a lot of background noise at your end also. You can keep your mute your mic. Okay. We'll continue. You can mute your mic. We can discuss a little bit after this thing. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to state today. Not
Sorry.
talk about.
Now range issue.
Sorry.
Sorry. Now range issue. Continue, continue.
Yeah. We'll continue right now. After 15 minutes, we'll talk again. Okay. Because it's your first session. I hope you're getting whatever I'm saying. I hope I'm not very fast also. Not good talking over the head also. So fine. So we are first continuing on using previous year questions and for creating your own syllabus structure. Uh, I Today all the people who are attending this session will also get. Uh, I have I've created a starter kit for utilizing. If you can see this uh, syllabus, how do you line up syllabus or worksheet? So I will be giving you this template. You have when you download the slides, there it will be there, and you can utilize in as we are learning that how do we break in the syllabus lines to multiple syllabus. These are 10-year previous year question analysis tracker. See, even I have created a book, which I'll talk about it later on micro syllabus. All publications, whoever does releases books, they reduce the effort. That is the outcome is totally given to you. And but how do they process those information? These are these templates, these trackers. Okay. We know that previous year question papers will be available at UPSC Civil Service Examination or UPSC websites, official website. So you don't have to purchase anything from outside. You download all the 10 years paper and you can do your own analysis and create your own book. That is the old pattern of how not old or there's a traditional pattern. All of us, like when I was preparing, I was doing like that one. But today we have because we have a lot of AI tools, lot of people doing multiple things. You already have a book around it. But I would request at least for few topics you do this worksheet. Your brain will analyze how the questions and how the syllabus are coming as a theme or as a pattern. Otherwise, what happens is it is like this kind of tells you why a topic is very important for UPSC, why they talk about why it is repetitive in nature. So these things, something you feel it when you do analysis yourself. So I'll in the entire journey of our preparation, you will be getting multiple things like that. But today's session is about decoding previous year's question. So this handout will be given to all those who download the slides, and the link to download the slides you must have seen in your WhatsApp uh, message, or maybe it is there also in the group channel also. It ends with weekly life hashtag weekly life. So I'm continuing our today's session. Here, see, as I know that we have just started it, and not necessarily you would be knowing all the words. So don't get fearful about it. Whatever I mentioned over here is to give an example. 6 months down the line, you will realize everything. Right now, you're at the beginner step. You may not be able to link it, or you may not be able to, don't burden it that कि अरे इतना क्या दे दिया. ऐसा नहीं. Just start small, but understand there is a linkage. For example, something is talking. There is in our Indian Constitution there is something called as preamble, basic structure, and amendments. These are keep they keep on talking about it. Now, some Supreme Court judgment happens, say judgment on particular student protest is happening, and somebody has gone to Supreme Court for certain relief, and some Supreme Court judgment happens. And suddenly the Supreme Court says that according to the basic structure, which was done in 19, as per the ruling of Supreme Court of the 1972 case, this is what will continue, Kesavananda Bharati case, and like that, they give a solution. Now we know nothing. We do not understand what is this ruling. Because historically we have to understand why, what came, when was the basic structure, what is the term basic structure coming, why utilizing like that. So that when we start studying, we'll get slowly about it. Don't cram it like you use the Wikipedia and AI chat and all chat GPT. They will cram you with information. But it is, it is when you have a lot of information, you are not able to link it. Why from here to here, from here to here? Because all of that information did not happen in one day. It took years to become that particular piece of information. From 1972 case, we are connecting it till today, 2026. So imagine so many years have gone. But they will write in 5 paragraphs. How will we understand? And if you don't understand what has happened from 1972 to what has happened till today. So there are so many context layer which is going parallelly. My only thing is we do some action, but don't, if you are unable to meet up to the expectation, don't just get disheartened. It takes 6 to 7 months to build this skill. Now comes something, once you go to daily syllabus, once you read what is the syllabus point, your brain starts picturing when you read any topic, ये कौन सा syllabus में आता है, ये कहाँ से आता है, ये लाइन कहाँ को कनेक्ट करता है, does it add value to any of the syllabus? Does it add anything to this thing? Had UPSC asked about it previously, Kabhi? Which year? So basically what happens if you hear a lot of these mentors like me, you will also realize, have this complex that how come he knows so many things, how come he is able to do this much, that much. Nothing of this has come in one day. All it takes is multiple failures, all it takes is multiple attempts, so many learning, and every time you learn, if your attitude is to cry, then you cry. If your attitude is, why did I fail? Let me figure out that what was my weakness. It takes a lot of time. It is very difficult to go back and look back. But you keep on doing it multiple times, then you start feeling that, okay, I fumble at this place. Even if I'm reading, I'm unable to understand this till today. I have a fear of learning about this. So once you start out all this thing about your own persona, you will come to know that if I do corrective measures about them, that is more than enough to clear this exam. Simple. So we have to clear the exam. We don't have to academically. Nobody is giving us gold medal of what a UPSC syllabus beautifully done. He gets the gold medal for writing a beautiful syllabus. No. So these are certain questions, filter questions, which allows you to focus. Should I read this question, the article, in a which way? 2 second reading, or I should I focus reading line by line? Like the have knowing the syllabus and then understanding the UPSC pattern, that becomes habituable. Now, common question which on which this session is designed: how do I start? How do I start? Where do I start? How do I start? All these questions. Everybody will tell you if you are just right now ask go any topper stock and check on YouTube or any blog or anything, any book, they will all say one thing. Let us first do NCRT. You have to do NCRT first. Start answer writing from day one. You see that you write answer. Start reading newspaper from day one. At least you should spend 45 minutes in reading newspaper. Don't focus on ads. And then they will say that buy the books. For this I referred this, for this I referred this, for this I referred this. Like that, one 2 page article will be written on how to start. I also, when I was preparing in 2006, 7, 8, because internet was not at that peak, and you are still going old pattern, going to library, seeing old books, because books were very costly. It was not available. I started my preparation at a very small town. No books were there. You go to library, then see if there are someone who has donated the books, or then you come to the nearest place like a Bombay, Hyderabad, Delhi kind of a place. There you find some books. Then you will say it is there in the stock or old edition. So I have gone through that struggle, which today I don't think anybody could be going because internet is there. You can even if you don't have a book, you have the entire resource material available for you to find it out and updated material and things like that. So content is not the challenge. So anybody trying to tell you कि ये किताब, ये book is the best book, don't go for it. Don't fall for it. You yourself can create your content because content or access to content is today absolutely kind of free and you can actually look at it around internet and you can get the right resource from the official resource and do multiple things. There are books available. Definitely it allows you to shortcut your time and definitely those books are even I write books. But I would say that who are that useful for? It is useful for revision. Finish. It is not useful for intellectual learning. No, it is not. Because I'm not an intellectual, I'm not an expert, subject matter expert, or I'm not a historian, or I'm not an economist. I'm somebody who just helps you to crack the exam. That's it. So my books are limited to have that only utility. ये किताब पढ़ने का syllabus, it kind of oils or makes your topic expertise. You go and crack the. When you see the topic, you will get the answer. You crack it. So what So everybody has that foundation. So when I was starting my mentoring journey in 2014, 15, everybody would come and ask, and then we say, no, you join foundation program, you do this, that, like that. Many of the people said, so give us study plan. So I sat down and created an Excel sheet of study plan in 2014. I'm saying not everybody was using laptop, but I was giving people Excel sheet. Okay, day one do this, day two do this, day three day do this. So people who are that in UPSC there are in prelims you can give in there are two things only: English medium or Hindi medium. People who have mostly people who take English medium. The reason being that most of our graduations are in English medium. So we are aware go to English medium books, but in India there is Hindi medium books also because many graduate in Hindi medium also in the northern belt in the five states of India where the Hindi is more prominent. So, but otherwise, 85, the UPSC says 85% of aspirant go for English medium because all of us engineers or doctors, the books are in English and all are English medium only. So English medium is the major way of looking at it. The NCRT books of school textbooks are in English medium also, are in Hindi medium also. So medium doesn't matter. What matters is how much proficient you are in the medium, either of the medium, English or Hindi. So if you see the UPSC question paper, it has written in uh, in English and immediately the next page is in Hindi or Hindi and English like that. Question number 1 to 10. So, like every state government, if you go state PCS, it will have one in English and the immediate translation in that state language. In Malayalam, in Kerala PCS, it will be English and Malayalam. In Tamil Nadu PCS, it will be English and Tamil. In Odia, it will be English and Odia. So every state has its like that, but in UPSC, national, and in the Union Public Service, it is English and Hindi. So up to you, which is which. See, we have because a lot of people you have this graduation in English only. So availability is in both the thing. You see where your comfort lies in. I am a mentor for mostly English. I told you I did my engineering in or did my education in English mediums. When we were there, it was all mostly about English only. So doesn't matter. Still, I would say don't go at your comfort. Okay. So coming back, how this started, I started creating Excel sheet and giving. So every day I used to give, I gave Excel sheet, but tell me how many of the people were using laptop that time, or how many of the people were using mobile phone to open the Excel sheet. I did all the effort, but nobody used it. I write day one, day two, day three like that. Nobody studied it. But what in the process I realized that if I have a mechanism in which I can teach about this is what you start today, then tomorrow, step by step completion. If I give on an email, then I will be able to. So then somebody will be able to do self study, and I will because that time in 2014 15, YouTube was also there, but it was not so prominent, and even there was something called a Skype for online learning, but people did not have access to like right now you can be online 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour live stream. That time it was very difficult, half an hour, 20 minutes like that only. So, I should do, I should give content to read in the slides and then question to practice. And I had a website called as revise for is.com. Cut to 2024. I had my own career of government and everything. After my career in this thing, I thought I will start uh, full time dedication in. I opened up Elevate IS where the model is again on self-study, but now I'm using technology where like this live stream and you get from every day you get an email. I've broken down the GS Foundation. You every day you get an email, which in email you will be able to um, I'll just show you that. Uh, So you register, you get a welcome mail from mentor, and it tells you how to study, what to study. So what I'm trying to say is every day you will get an email where you will get one element to study. For example, we start with NCRT. Here it says that NCRT for class 7, it is some number, some X days, science chapter 7, and you will get a video lesson. Here it is a video lesson, which is so right now, this is not audio is going on or not, I don't know. So here it will be a video lesson where I talk about the chapter, and then you will have chapter notes which you can download. You will have to download the right correct chapter of the, which is also available publicly. Okay, but I have put it for this. Then you will have revision MCQ practice PDF, which you download. The question bank will be there. You have to practice for this particular chapter only. That way, today you learn one chapter, few topics, and you also perform with the revision through MCQ, multiple choice question, which is as per prelims. You have any doubt in that chapter, you put your doubt. It comes to me on WhatsApp or over email. I respond to it. Or every second Tuesday of the month, we have a doubt clearing session. Or you have any feedback about this chapter or this email, you come to me. You have anything to WhatsApp urgently, anything regarding subject, you can reach out to me. I respond. So every day there will be some activity and some test of knowledge. It can be from paper one, it can be from CSAT, it can be from current affair. Like that, this is a daily email. The foundation plan is broken into a daily email system. Okay. Which is the answer for my when somebody asks me how to begin, sir, kahan se start kare, sir, I tell this answer. There can be multiple answers, but here I have provided an action item, actionable. You have to start from whenever you subscribe, from that next day, 24 hours, your day one starts. Then you will say, when do I study? My mail will reach you in the morning, 5 o'clock. Then it is up to your day. You might be working, you might be a fresher, you might be a, you might have your own schedule. But see, in that particular 24 hours or till the evening night, you create a place where you have 2 hours to study. If not continuously 2 hours, at least 20 minutes break. And slowly, slowly it has to increase because that is how involvement of study will happen. But if you don't prioritize a timetable, this is not a coaching institute, okay? That every day evening 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock there will be class. If I don't attend, I'll give you recording. No, I've already given you things. Your willpower to create a priority is what I ask for, because it is self-study by mentor guidance. I'm going to help you in giving you the right guidance or process of preparing. But if you are not able to give time out for yourself, I cannot help in that sense. Motivation will not work. It will be time waste. After some time, will just block me. But it has to come from within, because it is your goal and dream to become UPSC, or prepare for UPSC and become a government servant. So that's the reason why I feel this is exactly now. If I tell you what all is there is coming in this GS Foundation, it is a pure GS Foundation which you find in any of the big institute. And let me tell you, I've been a part of those big institute in my journey of preparation also as a professional. Okay, so it is nothing that, and many places I am the co-creator of the courses and foundation in last 15 or 10 years before. So it is not that I'm unaware of things. I initiated it in 10 to 12 years back, and today those are running institute. But I did not pursue that stream of, because I joined government. So what I'm trying to tell here is that no way you'll have a quality compromise. You belong to which part of the country doesn't matter. Your access to preparation content and access to preparation strategies as good as doing it in Delhi. But giving a priority timeline is very is something is up to your hand. Coming next to the point is what is this GS Foundation? Uh, how do I go for GS Foundation plan? I'll quickly run you through the website. You have to do it using the website. You have to go to the Elevate IS website. You can see it on the screen right now. Here, you join the workshop. So I take a platform fees of 90 rupees. Let me be very open. What you get in 90 rupees it doesn't matter actually. It is only for serious aspirant. This 90 rupees is just for you to be focused what you are choosing because you're paying at least something. Then you get obviously this workshop. You get all the access to programs. You get 400. This is the platform access fee actually. You get various kind of workshops opportunity you get like weekly live you are also seeing and this PDF UPSC preparation kit and then you get an access to WhatsApp group. If you don't want to join a WhatsApp group, no problem. Just join the channel. But you have got an access to WhatsApp group. That's what I'm saying. If it is not suitable to you, don't do things which is just not aligned with your requirement. So you fill in this form and you have to choose 400-day GS Foundation program. Once you click this, you it will give you a welcome email. So check your spam, and from there, next day onwards, you have to see whether welcome email has come to you. If it has come to you, that means the subscription has started, and next day morning you will start getting the thing. So you have to update me once you have purchased that. Okay, sir, this thing. I'm not giving you any app or anything, LMS, nothing, nothing. Just simple email, your YouTube, and your WhatsApp. These are the three elements, technology stack which we require in our preparation. Okay, and this is how you actually enroll for the program. Okay, for the GS Foundation program. There was a question on whether how much time to study, how much hours should I make. Let me tell you, nothing else. Day one, if you start immediately, like for example, it's like a marathon. If today I go to start running for 10 hours, will I go tomorrow also? I'll take another 2 months. I will not go anywhere. If I go tomorrow, I study for 10 hours. I go for running for 10 hours today. Same is with study. If you study immediately, 4 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours like that, after that you will be like fatigued. You will not study. So don't initially push yourself. Start small, start creating a purpose of your study and start figuring out how will you enjoy the process of studying. So I have created a small pattern of which you can do, and you have to see what is suitable to you. If you are working, if you are full time, student, full time aspirant, it depends upon you. One question that comes to everybody's mind once you first meet with the failure is मैंने कोचिंग नहीं लिया था इसलिए मैं फेल हो गया. But coaching लेने वाले भी फेल हो जाते. ऐसा नहीं है. It is not about coaching. It is about doing things right. ये जो चीजें हैं ये सेल्फ में ही होती है, कोचिंग में भी आपको कोई करता नहीं है. पहला है सिलेबस और माइक्रो टॉपिक की क्लैरिटी. प्रीवियस ईयर पेपर से समझना चीजों को. यू विल सी दैट मेनी ऑफ द यूपीएससी नोट्स आर एक्चुअली क्रिएटेड फ्रॉम प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन. हैविंग ए डिसिप्लिन एंड कंसिस्टेंसी. ये जैसे स्कूल में आपको डिसिप्लिन और कंसिस्टेंसी होता है टाइम टेबल के हिसाब से, अगर आप कर पाए वैसे उस लेवल पे, अच्छा क्या है बुरा क्या है पता नहीं, करना है तो करना है लाइक दैट. If you can manage, if you can clear like that, then only you will be able to, you know, make yourself go beyond ordinary. Having a evaluation system, feedback system, and error analysis. That's what I'm talking about. Performance progress tracking, which I will be introducing in the next few days. A revision system, a system to know whether you are able to recall topics, where you have stuck and everything. Regular test practice and answer writing, because exam is that. It is still in that. तो अगर आप ये सब कर पाए तो आप कोचिंग लें या ना लें, वेर एवर यू हैव एक्सेस टू नॉलेज यू विल बी एबल टू. चीजें which creates trouble for anybody who is preparing for this exam doesn't matter. I have you would must have heard as stories where they have cleared the attempts in the you know फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में, दो अटेम्प्ट में प्रीलिम्स तो क्लियर कर लिया, उसके बाद से प्रीलिम्स क्लियर ही नहीं हो रहा है. एंड इट बिकम्स a challenge for them, ego wise करना क्या है. So few mistakes are: mistake one, too many sources. 10 books creates 10 unfinished beginnings. Mistake two, newspapers reading without syllabus mapping. It creates the feeling of seriousness without measuring progress. Mistake three, ignoring previous year questions until the end, and the blueprint must come first. Mistake four, making notes that cannot be revised. If your notes reproduce the book, you have created another book. Mistake five, studying papers in isolation. UPSC rewards interconnection. Mistake six, avoid answer writing. That is, you're not writing, you're not doing the practice. You cannot learn swimming by only reading about swimming. You cannot learn answer writing just by reading the answers. Mistake seven, waiting for motivation, rather than motivation changes with sleep, weather, family circumstance, result, and mood. But a routine or a process, disciplined process, is what stays on, is more reliable. So, I would like to ask if any of these mistakes you have already have come to face. I'm sure इस एग्जाम में नहीं होगा, बट नॉर्मल एग्जाम में भी यही सारे challenges. क्लास 10th के एग्जाम, 12th के एग्जाम, आप कोई भी एग्जाम पद्धति में देख लें, दीज आर सर्टन थिंग्स विच आर द डिस्ट्रैक्शन, विच आर द रीजन. इफ यू आस्क टुडे कि क्या आप सुधार करोगे 10th क्लास के लिए या 12th क्लास के लिए, यू विल से आंसर समथिंग लाइक दिस ओनली. So with this, I would say that today's session what I'm targeting is about कैसे हम PYQ का relevancy बनाए in our preparation daily. When we end our study routine, you would see that हमने कितना जो है PYQ को, प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन के एलिमेंट्स को इंक्लूड किया हुआ है हमारे प्रिपरेशन में. आई हैव मेंशन अबाउट हाउ टू स्टार्ट ऑफ योर माइक्रो सिलेबस, हाउ टू स्टार्ट ऑफ योर GS foundation program for complete beginners. Please start and let me know when you are enabled, and another 7 days you continue and you meet me on the next Thursday in this session, and let's discuss what you went through and how did you find it. So these are certain outcomes which I've built phase by phase in your 400 days program. The first phase is of 120 days where NCRT and your daily CSAT and generic sources which you speak of is taken care. Second phase is UPSC syllabus, topic wise and micro topic wise, which we are talking today. And third phase is about the dynamic aspect of the syllabus. So this way, Elevate IS is helping or creating a chartered path for self-study aspect. कोचिंग की बात नहीं कर रहा मैं, ये अपने तरीके से करना है, अपने पैरेटिव से करना है, आपको सब कुछ दिया जाएगा और आपकी मेहनत कंसिस्टेंट और डिसिप्लिन में हो गया क्या इन फाउंडेशन प्रोग्राम करने से। तो ये है आपका अंडर, यू विल बी एक्चुअली एज एन एस्पिरेंट यू विल बी able to be at the level in which जो एग्जाम डिमांड करता है। तो विद दिस why basically beginners uh, need such kind of thing. So basically, what happens in the beginning part, all of us feel that कि हमें resources चाहिए and resources required and we start downloading content जहाँ पे free PDF जो भी कुछ मिलता है कल पढ़ लेंगे, आज डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं, अभी अवेलेबल है, available at this much that much. We start studying ourselves or putting our download button at very active mode हमारे phone में, हमारे laptop में, everywhere you see downloaded things which you may not be able to put it in one folder or maybe open it up and study also, but you have downloaded. And that is where challenge comes that ये किस लिए डाउनलोड किया है, किससे रिलेटेड। So the solution is actually going day by day, one daily direction, limited resources and continuous application. Learn and apply together. If you study the preamble today, attempt related statements and outline a question today. Do not wait 6 months. Begin CSAT from day one. Even 20 or 30 minutes is better than panic near prelims. Build revision system into the system. Revision is not a part, an extra part, but it is a part of the syllabus. Measure personal progress. You don't need leaderboard. किसी के comparison में हम नहीं देख रहे. Prepare your own this thing, and that is what my performance progress tracker is about. We do not compare aspirants. क्यों compare? We are trying to figure out a best version of ourselves in the entire journey. So in our own realities, we will compete, and work towards progress. Now coming to today's closure, let me tell you, आप बोलोगे यार मेरा इतना पढ़ने से हो जाएगा सर, मैं क्लियर कर लूंगा एग्जाम। तो no course can guarantee selection. It is a competitive exam. वहाँ पे मल्टीपल वेरिएबल है, वैकेंसी कितनी है, आप कहाँ, आपका कास्ट क्या है, आपका कितना रिजर्वेशन का एस्पेक्ट क्या है, बहुत सारे एलिमेंट्स कंसिडर होते हैं, बर्थ रेट, एलिजिबिलिटी, सो मेनी थिंग. So one cannot say about on the selection part, but what are the basic minimum need to crack this exam and what are the approaches to it? That is what we can or I can help you to align to and perform to. But if you are not willfully doing it, you're not enjoying the process, you may not be able to reach to that best level which is required for cracking this exam. यही बंदा जो आज आप मेरे साथ बात कर रहे हो और वो जो बंदा जो एग्जाम क्रैक करने वाला है, उस सर्विस में कराने वाला है, दे आर टू डिफरेंट पीपल एट डिफरेंट लेवल ऑफ इंटेलेक्ट। तो आपको आपके उस लेवल तक आपको जाना पड़ेगा तभी आप कर पाएंगे। आज के तरीके से जो बात को जिस तरह में भी इट इज नॉट सफिशिएंट। So it is goal is not to dump नहीं करना reading material and content, but help you to stay aligned to UPSC's relevant this thing. So with this I would like to say if you have any questions, put it over for next year week session, and your slide and the syllabus note will be accessible in a while in that particular link, and what I also suggest is uh, people who have given prelims 2026 have failed. There's a analysis workshop that I'm going to take on 2nd of August, and that will be like you and I will sit together. We'll go question by question, set A, and then at the end of the and I'll give you a worksheet also. जहाँ पे आपको भरना है आपने क्या किया, उसका आंसर असली में क्या लिखा था, क्यों वो आंसर लिखा था, क्या आपके पास दिमाग में क्यों आया, क्यों नहीं है, whatever, एंड विच विल हेल्प यू एनालाइज कहाँ कमी रहेगी, क्या गलती रहेगी, एंड देन हम अपना नेक्स्ट स्ट्रेटजी वहां से शुरू करेंगे। वंस यू आर एबल टू नो व्हाट आर द मिस्टेक्स एंड व्हाट आर द challenge things you need to improve upon for your before your next attempt. So please join in if you have given prelims, only for people who failed the prelims in 2026. तो 2 तारीख अगस्त को है, तो आप रजिस्टर करिए एंड ब्लॉक योर एंटायर संडे बिकॉज इट्स गोइंग टू बी ए लॉन्गर सेशन। वही अगर आप साथ साथ एक दिन कर लोगे इन्वेस्ट करके तो आपके लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा। With this, I close my session today. Thank you, everyone. All the best.